objective of the Indian Knowledge System Division is to go beyond merely acknowledging the existence of Indian knowledge system and to rejuvenate and mainstream it by integrating it into the fabric of our educational research ecosystem for the contemporary world. Pondicherry University and Vidya Bharthi Uchcha Shiksha Sansthan, Tamil Nadu, proudly organizes Indian Knowledge System lecture series in our university. Today, being the inauguration day, I request all the delegates on the stage to kindly inaugurate the section digitally.
Vanakkam, Namaste, a very good morning to all. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, it is my immense pride and great pleasure that we welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of Bharatiya Jnana Parampara Upanyasamala, Indian Knowledge System lecture series. Today marks the beginning of an inspiring journey into depth, diversity, richness of Indian intellectual tradition and cultural heritage. This lecture series is envisioned as a platform to revisit, reflect, and revive the vast body of indigenous knowledge that has evolved all over the millennia, be it in the realms of the philosophy, science, arts, medicine, or spirituality and others. It aims to foster interdisciplinary dialogue and bridge the gap between traditional wisdom and contemporary education system. We are deeply honored by the presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P. Prakash Babu Garu, whose visionary leadership and unwavering support continue guide towards academic excellence. Even when we approached our Honorable the Vice Chancellor, without saying no, Sir has encouraged to conduct this Upanyasamala. Sir, we welcome you for this program. We are privileged to have with our distinguished guest of honor, Professor K. Sampath Kumar ji. Your gracious presence has added immense value to this event, and we look forward to your insights as we explore the timeliness wisdom embedded in Indian knowledge system. And Sir also extended all the moral and the mental support to conduct this program in addition to all VBS activities. Sir, we welcome you for this program. We warmly welcome our esteemed Director of Studies and Research, Professor K. Tarunikarsu ji, whose commitment for fostering scholarly inquiry has been instrumental in shaping this initiative. Sir, we welcome you for this program. My heartfelt gratitude and also the backbone of our library, the respected Director of Culture and Culture Relation, Professor Clement S. Ludji, for championing the cause of cultural integration within the academia also and also in the campus. So we welcome you also. Yes, my distinctive welcome to the Director Research and Development Cell, Professor Selvin Joseph, the Directorate of Distance Education, Dr. Arvind Gupta ji, the Dean College Development Cell, Professor Venkatesh Sharma ji, and Dr. Satish, the NSS coordinator, and all deans, HODs, teaching faculties, administrative officers, library professionals, research scholars, and students. My special welcome to Vidya, Bharthi, Uchcha, Shiksha, Sansthan, Tamil Nadu authorities, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, the National Executive Council member, Pondicherry and Tamil Nadu, Dr. Siddheshwaranji, the Secretary, Vidya, Bharthi, Uchcha, Shiksha, Sansthan, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry University, and others. Let us take this opportunity to celebrate our intellectual traditions, to encourage with them critically and creatively, to share their relevance with the world today. Once again, I welcome you all and thank you for being a part of this meaningful occasion. Thank you.
In this regard, I also take the opportunity to welcome Professor Vijay Kumar sir for coordinating this program. Sir, welcome sir. I now request Dr. Sanjay Pratap Singh, National Executive Council member, VBUSS Tamil Nadu, sir, to kindly felicitate our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor P. Prakash Babu, sir. I now request Professor Clement S. Lodge, sir, Director, Culture and Cultural Relations, Pondicherry University, sir, to say a few words. Thank you.
Most eminent Professor P. Prakash Babu, Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University, Professor K. Taranekarasu, sir, Director, Dr. K. Sambat Kumar, our Honorable Guest of Honor, my good friend and our University Librarian Vijay Kumar, invited guests, professors from various departments, research scholars and students. It is my proud privilege to be a part of this program and to say a few words about the Indian knowledge system as I know, being a student of literature, later as Professor of Literature. Let me begin with one episode we find in Kambaramayana. In Kambaramayana, there is a talk, a very important one, between Prahalada and his father, the Daman king. Prahalada is being ordered to tell where the god is, because according to Iranian, there is no other god than himself. But when his own son differs from this universal opinion prevalent during that particular age, he was very much surprised, shocked, and was about to kill his son. But before that, he just wanted to know where the God is, and even if there is a God, where to find him out. The answer given by Prahalada is something very, very important. He says, Sanilumulan, Anuvinai Sadakuritta Konilumulan, Mameru Kundilumulan, Ni Swanna Sulinumulan, Ittanmai Kanudi Virivin. This is what he says. It is a very, very simple and plain answer, demanding no explanation. God is there everywhere. God is there even in this pillar. God is there in the very word that you have spoken just now. Not only in the huge hill he will be available, but in any place you like, you may be able to see him, provided you have been endowed with that type of inclination and eyes. What is more important here, when you take up the first line, Sanilum Ulan, that is okay. Anu Vinay Sadakoritta Konilum Ulan, there lies the rub. because at that time it was thought that atom cannot be splitted. It is humanly impossible. But even at that time, 1000 years ago, when Kambar lived, he says that there is a possibility of dividing the atom, and the divided atom, that one particular unit of that atom can be called as, he is giving a new term, cone. That has not been thought of in Tamil. He not only says that it is possible, but he has ended up giving a particular name to it. This is what you call the Indian knowledge system. This is where we owe a great gratitude to our ancestors, whether they are literary people or whether they are ordinary people, whether they are kings or princes or whether they are ordinary folk. There is no difference at all. And that is why Albert Einstein, I need not introduce this great scientist to you, because he is a very, very plain-spoken man. But when you read his biography, you will understand that even in ordinary life, he has demonstrated his simplicity. And in the beginning of his career, he was not a rich man. He always used to come with tattered clothes, with full of holes. And one day, his own companion, he wanted to make a joke at his cost. He said, Einstein, through the holes in your shirt, your poverty is leaking out. Through the holes in your shirt, your poverty is leaking out. But he immediately said, can I make one small correction, my dear friend? It is not through the holes in my shirt my poverty is leaking out, only your foolishness goes in. Because you see only my attire, and then you try to understand a person, which is not so. Even such a great man said, we owe a lot to the ancient Indians. We owe a lot to the ancient Indians because everything springs out through their way of thinking. Let us take philosophy. Plato went on saying that this world is nothing but an imperfect imitation of the perfect original. Are you able to understand what it is? No. Even if you say I will not accept that, because it needs proper consideration and understanding. Because those are the people who said it is somewhere else, this, that, but they never showed the direct path. Nowhere they mentioned about God. And even if they speak about God, they spoke in plural. And when somebody asked Plato at last whether you believe in God or not, and even if there is such a God, what is he doing? Plato simply said, the world is moving towards an unmoved mover. I think more confused way of explaining God or telling the ways of God will not be available. Instead of saying it directly, he said that the world is moving towards unmoved mover, and therefore we should not imitate any kind of art or literature or poetry or anything, because already the word itself is an imitation. If the world is an imitation, whatever we do is nothing but the imitation of that imitation. Therefore, it is wrong to encourage the poets or artists to go in pursuit of art or in poetry, because the world does not belong to them at all. The world utterly belongs to the philosophers. And Plato's thought can be punctured immediately by saying, because he went on saying that this is only an imitation, but the perfect original is somewhere else. Where is that? And in fact, he was also asked to explain, if there is perfect imitation for everything, if there is a perfect one for everything, what about furniture, chair, table, this podium, etc.? Is there any perfection, any perfect podium available somewhere? He said, yes, it is available. Everything is only an imitation. The perfection is not here. but the perfect one, if you want, you can find out. But where is it? He did not tell that at all. My dear friends, if you ask one question, if there is some perfection for everything, what about the vices? Bad things. Is there any perfection of a bad thing somewhere else? If you raise that question, Plato will not be able to explain it. That is what Aristotle did. But as far as the Indian philosophy is concerned, it is something very, very clear that everything is within. You need not search it outside at all. I can tell you one small anecdote of a king meeting a hermit out of his own interest, because this particular hermit who was sitting under the tree for a very long time did not speak to any person. But the king had a big confusion about heaven and hell. What is hell? What is heaven? He wanted somebody to define him. But unfortunately, he was not able to get the proper definition of hell and heaven. Then, when people said that there is one sage sitting under the tree for a very long time, he was very much interested in meeting him. And he met that particular person and asked, "Sir, tell me, because you have been here for a long time doing tapas, what is heaven and what is hell?" He did not speak. Again he repeated the question, he did not speak. How long the king can repeat the question? He becomes very angry. He took his sword and he was about to kill the sage. The sage simply answered, "This is hell." Then he immediately understood that he did something wrong. He has to mend his ways. And he said, "I am sorry, sir. I have done a very bad thing. Since you did not answer my question, I took it otherwise and about to stab you. And I am very sorry." The sage said, "This is heaven." You understood what is heaven and hell now? Everything is within. The way in which you show your anger or your interest in others, it all depends on you. My dear friends, as far as this knowledge system is concerned, we find that the ancient sages, they have been endowed with some kind of knowledge which nobody can decipher. One example that I can go for is our Saint Ramana Maharishi, who lived so many years ago, and even now we go to his ashram for the sake of spiritual consolation. There, a terrible thing happened during the end of his life. Even though he happened to be a great sage, he was afflicted with cancer, and that too has, very much taken toll of his arm. Unless he go for a surgery, nothing can be cured. The doctor came and fixed the date. Tomorrow you have to undergo the major operation. And the sage said, "Okay, because you are compelling me to do it, I will do." Then the next morning he was there in the operation bed. And when the doctor came, who also happens to be a devotee of the Ramana Maharishi, "Doctor, what are you going to do?" "First we will give you the cocaine injection. After that you will get that numbness. Then the surgery would become easy. You may not be knowing it in the next half an hour what I am doing. After that you will be perfectly all right. Doctor, I want you to do the operation with a difference. Don't give me cocaine. You can do it straight away." Then the doctor was bewildered. "What are you thinking? I have to cut deep into your flesh, more than 5 or 6 inches. Can you bear it?" "I can bear it. But give me a little time to concentrate on God, to do some meditation. I think that I will be able to bear it." The doctor was in a very helpless condition, because the great Rishi is saying that start doing your operation without giving cocaine. He said, "Okay, I will do it." But the patient is in a very blissful existence without showing any kind of sign of pain, but the doctor's hands are shaking when he lifted his knife. because this major surgery is very difficult one. But throughout that thing, he was keeping calm, composed, and in fact wanted to talk to the doctor, but nothing happened. Where did he learn it? This is what you call savasana, one yogic practice where you can make your body as a corpse. After that, nothing will be known to you, no feeling will be there in your body. Through the practice of yoga, you are getting it, not through the exercises or anything that you do as we are doing now. And this is a deep-rooted practice that you have in our country, but unfortunately we are not following it. And the last one that I would like to tell you, even in the case of literature, if you follow our ancestors, I think that our Indian poets will be able to attain the perfection. Because it was Sri Aurobindo who showed us the way how to write a poem. In the beginning, people thought that straight away you can lift a pen and if you have a paper that you can come out with a poem almost on par with a Shakespearean composition. No. Sri Aurobindo said, our mind is made of into 4 parts. First is an ordinary mind, the next is intuitive mind, the third one is illumined mind, and the last one is the overmind. The poem that comes out from the overmind, that is supposed to be the poem which can be called as a masterpiece of any person. And in fact, comparing Aurobindo with Shakespeare, there are a lot of critics who said that in this way he is on par with Shakespeare, because he was the one who told us that this is the way to write a poem. And when you write anything from the overmind poetry, you cease to become a poet and you become a sage or a seer. S-W-E-R. A seer means a person who will be able to predict about the future of our country. In ordinary sense, you cannot call it as a poem, but it is a prediction. And to attain that prediction, he has undergone lot of yogic practices. And in fact, the last poem that he wrote in Pondicherry, how many of you know that? The very last poem of Sri Aurobindo, the entire poem he wrote in Pondicherry, the epic, Savitri. That was the last one. At that time he has become pub-blind. He cannot read anything, he cannot write anything. But he recited everything to one Dr. Nirodbaran, his assistant. What he will do? He will start dictating the poem night 12 o'clock and continue to recite the poem till 2 o'clock. And Nirodbaran will jot down everything. After that, Sri Aurobindo will ask him to read it out. When Nirodbaran reads the poem, he will simply say, Nirodbaran, do one thing. How many pages he wrote? 35 pages, sir. Those 35 pages, turn it away and throw it to the dustbin. Later you come, you give me some 15 minutes to meditate. I will keep myself in the overhead position. I think I must be somewhere between the illumined mind and the illusion mind. That is why I think that my product is not good. I myself can certify it. Throw it away, come back. Sir, such a nice masterpiece. Yes, I know. You just wait. So next time when he comes and when he starts reciting it, he could see the difference. He could feel it. Such a big difference between the first version and the one that he has been dictating now. Therefore, my dear friends, as it has been pointed out, in yoga or in literature or in medicine, that we owe a lot to our ancestors, and many of these things are not come to the limelight. It is for you to decide how best that you can make use of this ancient wisdom. If it is coupled with the modern technology, India will become great. You need not think of any other thing, but the only thing is as you know about the modern technology, as you are blessed with all sorts of things which you have not been blessed with, you can come out with wonders. And that is why we are having a seminar, a conference or a program of this kind, just to tell you that we are second to none. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. The walking encyclopedia of our university, we are, sir, blessed to have you amongst us here. Thank you, sir. I request Professor Dr. Vijay Kumar, sir, librarian, to kindly honor Professor Clement, sir, by presenting him with a book gifted by VBUSS Tamil Nadu team.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P. Prakash Babu, Professor Clement Ed Loos, Director Culture and Culture Relations, and today's guest of honor, Dr. K. Sambat Kumar, Member, Indian Council of Philosophical Research, New Delhi, and Dr. M. Vijay Kumar, Program Coordinator, Librarian, and the Principal from Community College, and we have directors, R&D and DDE, and Physical Education Director, and all even from from different departments, HODs, and deans, and all the students who assemble here. Good morning, everyone. So it is indeed great pleasure to be part of this inaugural function of IKS lecture series, which is jointly organized by Pondicherry University and VBUSS Tamil Nadu. And in this on this occasion, I thank Dr. K. Sundaramurthy, President VBUSS, Dr. R. Siddheshwaran, Secretary VBUSS, and Dr. S. Mani, Treasurer VBUSS, for bringing out this wonderful initiative to have a series of IKS lectures. So on this occasion, especially students may be wondering, what is the need of this IKS lecture? We know the Indian knowledge system. What is the need of this? So friends, it is very important for us to understand and also differentiate between the Indian knowledge system and whatever we understand and follow. So India, I can say, is in many fields, it is in great confusion whether we have to follow this or another one. And because of this, the Indian knowledge system brings the very important role. For example, even since students are here, and if you ask the students, what is the aim of my life? Why do I study this? They simply say, I get a job, and then I get a very good home and marry, and then I wait for my death. This is the understanding, not only the students, many of the Indian citizens now. 1.4 billion out of 8 billion, 1.4 billion in India, we have this mindset. First question is this the Indian knowledge we have? This is what our ancestor told us. This is the principle of our birth. This is the objective of our birth. This is the aim of our birth. First of all, there itself, I can very well say, no, this is not our aim. Earning money is the least bother for Indians because of the population, because of the mindset they created that you have to be competitive, you have to be selfish, otherwise you cannot survive. All those things is inculcated in the students. This is not so. Nowhere in our Indian knowledge system mentioned that you have to compete, you have to be selfish, otherwise you have to be cutthroat. These are all for the Kshatriyas to follow, to retain our land from our enemies, not for the students. Correct? But this is what the student mindset, our whole, once we retire, we don't have any job like this. But see, please go and read our ancient advices, ancient books. Our main aim is to search for the knowledge, search for the God. What is the origin of our this Vishwa, the origin of this universe? How this universe is made? What is our role here? If you search on this, everywhere they say the reaching God is the main reason for this, and whatever knowledge you gather is only for the reaching God. Whether that is you want to follow this or not, that is different. But if you follow this life, where is the question of the selfishness? Where is the question of the competitiveness? Where is the question of you want to be selfish so that we can lead the life after material life, after money life? So we have definitely, when the India was invaded by the Mughalais as well as British people, we definitely become bankrupt. We have to accept it. But because of this, we also become very poor. At this stage, definitely we need money. We needed money. Because of this, we were worrying about money. Yes, it is very important. Money is important. Job is important. But that is not the aim of the life. When all our Indian knowledge system was created, nobody was worrying about how to earn money, because India was rich. India was enough to take care of this the people. That's why they were not this. But now, because of the invasion, it is not only few years, many centuries, we were under control of the invaders. So because of this, yes, we were poor, but we have to worry about money. Even now also we have to worry about money. I am not telling, but let us not take it as the objective or aim of our life. That is the thing we have to understand now. What are the Indian knowledge system? They mentioned about what is the objective of life. So if we have this for the especially students, then the present culture, whatever you feel that the life, what you feel about life will change. That is the biggest task we have in India, I can say, how to set the mindset for the students to understand that what is the importance of life. So this is the one of I thought, since it is the students I thought. But other than this, there are many things what we preach at home, what we follow at home, what we project at outside in a public life. It is totally also it is different. And our culture also. Why do we wear this dress? All these things we don't know now. And ultimately, we think differently, and we follow differently, and we are becoming like we are cheating ourselves. And our whatever we teach also in the colleges, schools, we don't know, we are not teaching also, we are not teaching the culture, or we are not teaching the Indian knowledge system, and we are only teaching the how to earn money, for how to get a job, all those things only. Because of this, whatever the students study at the early stages of their life, they at one stage they reach, they say, just if it is logical, they do it. What the ancient people say about this, they don't understand. This is the biggest threat for the youngsters. They just apply the today what is correct, but if they feel that today I may regret, they don't worry about this also. So this is the need. Once we were poor, we understand, but once we reached at the stage where our India is the 5th largest economy, at this stage now we have to bring back every culture. This has happened. Even Europeans, this has happened in Europe also. In 14th or 15th century, they were researching on the Greek as well as the Greek literature. There they got the understanding that our ancestor told the many things for their richness, for the richness in the knowledge. That's why they got the confidence. Then they try to spread their knowledge all over the India. That's where they came to India also. But you might have seen this, you might have known this. So this, the research of their knowledge, they call it as Italian Renaissance. After the Italian Renaissance, they got the confidence. How they got this confidence? Because they went back and studied their what the ancestors told about the philosophy of that Europe. That is, they consider Greek philosophy is their our origin, and because of this they got the confidence. Same thing now, we have to go back, and since our status is good now, we have to go back and study what our ancestor mentioned about the Indian knowledge system. Whether whatever we have following is not there in our Indian knowledge system, it is not so, but a different way. I will conclude my talk by saying why we are facing the whatever the knowledge we are following in Western is not complete. For example, when we take about medicine, when Britishers invaded here, the Ayurveda was very famous here. Every region there was a Ayurveda doctor. He used to take care of the patients there. Allopathy came late, because I am basically a chemist. I know when the first molecule was first invented. The molecules, that is drugs made up of chemical molecules, is the main source of now all allopathic treatment. The first molecule, organic molecule, was the urea. It was invented in 1820s. Then you can imagine, just the knowledge about the allopathy is less than 200 years. But before that, who took care of this, our medical system? Before the British people came, who took care of our the health of our Indians? So the Ayurveda played major role, but when they invaded, they made sure that no Ayurveda doctor should be there. So they spread the news that still we have the mindset that allopathy is best and all other system is wrong. So every system has positive and negative. So but they made sure that allopathy is correct and all other we should not follow, all are bogus. So, in that way they banned all the Ayurvedic doctors and they started incorporating this allopathic system. But the big question now is whether we are healthy now, whether we are completely, we can cure all the diseases. It is not so. We can easily see during Corona time what has happened, how the allopathy helped us also. So, whereas in the case of why this difference is, the Ayurveda, Siddha, all those things, they have the wisdom. They cannot say, this is this cannot be curable. And also there are many preventive measures also. But whereas the now there are many things we have a understanding in Ayurveda or on family medicine. They say nothing wrong. You can go ahead. You can do this like this. They allow us to do mistakes. Then they will come and do the curative measures, the allopathy. So, why this difference is the understanding of wisdom in the Ayurveda, Siddha is different. Understanding of our health, body is different from the understanding by allopathy. They treat always, the allopathy treats always the sthula body, whereas they treat the other system, they understand that there are different bodies inside this and they treat the Sushma body also and the mind also, all those things they taken into consideration. And before the became the disease, there are many preventive measures they take in the Ayurveda, Siddha. But we are not able to follow this because of the government compulsion. And Ayush is recently only formed by considering all those things, betterment of all those things. So, very recently only Ayush now they recognize, now it is picking up. See, Ayurveda, Unani, all those things now picking up. But still we are not able to compete with the allopathy because it is not still standardized very well, because it is evidence based. Always the allopathy is evidence based, whereas our system is cure based. You take something and you will definitely cure. That's what worked very well during the Corona also. So, in this, because of this, the having series like Indian knowledge system is very important. And always, we also say when you go and meet a doctor, so having second opinion is not wrong. So, like this, having Indian knowledge system, understanding this is not wrong. I request all the students to have more faith in the Indian knowledge system and find out the alternative for the Western knowledge also. Thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for motivating us. I now request Dr. Vijay Kumar, sir, to kindly present him with the book.
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Prakash Babu, Director Professor K. Taranikarasu, and Professor Clement S. Lourdas, the Program Coordinator Dr. Vijay Kumar, Professor of Library Science, my colleagues Sanjay ji and Siddheswar, learned members of the teaching staff, research scholars, and my dear students. At the outset, I would like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity. And most importantly, the permission our Vice Chancellor given us to collaborate with this great institution, Vidya Bharthi and Pondicherry University, to organize this kind of series of lecture. And it is only an inauguration. and expect from us that a great speakers will follow me and they will talk about the different aspects of Bharatiya Jnana Parambara. In fact, my task made easy by the learned directors, both directors. They have given you a simple terms what Indian knowledge system is meant for, why it is. Normally, I expect an English professor who quote only from Shakespeare, but here you find a professor of English talks about Kambaramayanam and beautifully telling the verses in Tamil. See, that is the Jnana Parambara. That is our Jnana Parambara. It is the colonized mind which most of us are having. Always think and talk little or few, anything it is Indian, we look down. That is not the correct. One should be proud of your heritage, your knowledge system, your culture, your tradition. Only once if you are rooted in your tradition, in your knowledge system, you can achieve. Fallout of this, consequence of this is learning from your mother tongue. Unless you are rooted in your mother tongue language, it's very difficult to innovate. But of course, there are people who could. That see, those who have achieved in their profession, they all learn from their mother tongue in the beginning. Maybe later they have converted into other language. And I don't say that those who studied in English medium, they have not achieved anything. But take them one by one, whoever you know well, what is the background they have. So unless you are rooted in your tradition, it is very difficult to achieve and innovate. And in this sense, Bharatiya Jnana Parambara plays an important role in the modern time. Now, of course, I am asked to give my full lecture after the inauguration. I will just give you one or two words and then I leave this platform to the Vice Chancellor for his noble address. See, we are all mixed age group people, right? Many of us are, I think I am the oldest person nearing 70 and others are below 70. And the students, of course, are there. What is the difference between us? See, we are learning, maybe I did for last 40 years and he did for last 35 years or 38 years. And you are being a student of 20 year group, you are just starting for last 10 years, you are starting to read and learn and acquiring the knowledge, right? See, by this age, how much knowledge you have gained? Think about the Bharat, whose history is millions of years. Some say it is 2000, some say it is 5000, or some say it is 10,000 years. Let it be whatever. I don't want to go into what exact date this Bharat has started, or its civilizations started. During all these years, how much of knowledge we might have acquired? The repository of knowledge left by our forefathers. Don't you think it is relevant? So why it is relevant and then what it is there? But unfortunately, we were made to believe that education started only some 200 years or 300 years back. It is not so. As he rightly pointed out, before allopathy came, what was that cured our diseases? Likewise, before Macaulay's education, what was the kind of education we had? Both of them spoke philosophy, in fact. And how philosophy is a part of our Bharatiya Jnana Parambara. In those days, education means study of philosophy. Everything is taught under the name of philosophy. Whether it is a medicine or astronomy or darga or logic, what you call, or mathematics, everything in the name of philosophy. We were taught, our forefathers studied in that discipline. But now, unfortunately, we have compartmentalized. And it is what we call compartmentalized and branched out from the main aspect of learning. It is the holistic learning that is more important. And that is what Jnana Parambara, Bharatiya Jnana Parambara is. See, nowadays, many academicians, they talk about Bharatiya Jnana system, Bharatiya Jnana Parambara, they are talking about. Some of them, for the sake of fancy, they are talking about it. Some of them are really have some inclination towards it. Something we have left out, we have to revive it. And unfortunately, many of us may not understand what exactly this IKS is, or what is its relevant nowadays. Why should we learn, or why should we revisit such a knowledge system, whether it is helpful us or not. These are all the points that we are going to discuss in course of time, in the maybe monthly once or bi-monthly. We will try to organize a lecture series on different area of Bharatiya Jnana Parambara. For example, one lecture may be on astronomy, another lecture on mathematics, another lecture on Indian polity, another on what you call the metallurgy. Like that, we will try to organize, and we will give you the exposure what our Bharatiya Jnana Parambara actually contains. It is very much necessary nowadays. One point alone I will tell and then leave. Why I am telling it is necessary? Nowadays, the military power is irrelevant in the changing geopolitics. What is more relevant is knowledge power. In order to become knowledge power, that's what our political masters are trying to say, that we are going to be Vishwaguru. We were actually Vishwaguru. But it was what you call, for quite some time we could not. Now to regain this status of Vishwaguru, we have to revisit. And one point is that claiming that the knowledge tradition which we have is superior in all aspects. For example, the patent system, patenting. Whatever you as a students of science, you do something innovatively in your lab, immediately you go and register as a patent. Otherwise somebody will claim. And it is another way of what you call a theft. It's a robbery from you, right? That's what you consider. But our ancient rishis and great scholars did not think so. They have discovered, they have innovated, they have found many things, and just leave it to others to use it. But it is not now. So we are slowly, we don't want to lose the patent war. We have lost our patent war on the products of neem, but not hereafter. For that purpose, we have to make it clear that, see, here we have the tradition. With that knowledge, we are progressing. That is one of the reasons we have to revisit the Indian knowledge system. Another important reason is that in the world affairs, we should stand tall. For which you should have you should believe that you have a tradition. You should have the confidence that you can do it, you can innovate. This confidence only when you have the knowledge system which you have. A simple one, you ask any motivation for speakers. Unless you do at homework, you are not confident to stand before the mic, is it not? It's common to everyone, right? So when you want to stand tall in this world, now slowly the world is listening to India. How? Because we have that leadership who believes that he has the tradition. He can proudly and say that, see, our Tirukural has so much of things. Our Bhagavad Gita has so much of ideas. And the language, we have such a rich tradition we have. And I am proud of representing this 140 million people. Our leader is going to proclaim in different world bodies because of the confidence he has in our tradition. Such confidence you need. For that purpose, you have to revisit Indian knowledge system. So with this introductory remark, I would like to end my talk to give way to our Vice Chancellor. And once again, I thank the university authorities, especially Vice Chancellor, for collaborating with us. We are proud and we are honored that we are collaborating with the university, and we try to do our best by giving you ideas on what Bharatiya Jnana Parampara is. Thank you very much. I will come again.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of all our university dignitaries, we are also privileged and honored to be collaborating with you and see that the light and wisdom of Indian Bharatiya Parampara be spread throughout these series which is going to happen in our university. Thank you, sir. I now request Professor P. Prakash Babu, sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pondicherry University, sir, to kindly give the presidential address.
Guests on the dais, Professor Tarnikarsu, colleague, Director, Professor Clement, Director, and guest of honor, Dr. K. Sampath Kumar, Member, Indian Council of Philosophical Research, New Delhi, Dr. Vijay Kumar, Program Coordinator and Librarian, and other organizing people are the K. Sundaramurthy, Dr. K. Sundaramurthy, Dr. K. Siddheshwaran, Dr. S. Mani, and other coordinators of this program, who are the visitors of this program. Sanjay is there here. So, faculty colleagues assembled here, principals, directors and heads, and other colleagues, students gathered here, and also media people, and all the invitees. It's a great pleasure for me to inaugurate this program. I will not take much time because my earlier speakers, they have covered all the aspects, from culture to the scientific developments. So they made my life little easier. Except saying very few words, and I will leave the podium to the speaker. So this, I thank actually the Vidya Bharthi Uchcha Sanskrita Sanstha. They have been doing in the country, they have taken up this as the mission and going to all the education institutions and the research institutions to promote the Indian knowledge system in various places. Now, actually, what is the need to have this one? So, we have really, very lately, we realized the Indian knowledge system. Indian knowledge system. So, India has the knowledge. So, that we have forgotten. It's only like a research, right? So, research. So, as if you go back to the ancient days, Indian knowledge system actually, this is the one actually which initiated the education system. If you go back to the few centuries before, Nalanda, Takshashila, all these, there are 5-6 universities are there, wherein the different countries, people, they used to come, stay back here, study, and go back and spread the knowledge, including from China. So now the China, we are calling it as the hub of all Ayurveda and all, but actually that's not, they learn from here. those people actually they traveled through Himalayas and stayed here and learned and they went back. Like all of the countries near neighboring countries, including European countries. So this was the knowledge that we were having and spreading during ancient days. But during the time period of the Britishers' rule, there was a gap actually. So that was a complete silence of the Indian knowledge. And all the education system was disappeared literally because they were all born even much before. If those universities have been continued, India would have been in a different place in the world scenario. There actually what happened. So now, as earlier speakers indicated that Professor Tarnikar said rightly, the Ayurveda. Ayurveda was the one which was been deep rooted in the Indian culture much earlier to the world. But only lacking is its mechanism of action. So why the world is not taking the Ayurveda medicine, so some of our drugs are failing and some are not being promoted throughout the world because of the mechanism of its action is not being recorded. We know that. So there are actually Ayurveda medicines which can promote or which can strengthen the immune system and some are used for the cure. We know and people have been using it. It's not there are no preclinical trials. It's only clinical trials because people are using it and they are getting benefited out of it. But only thing is, world wanted this, and also the pharma mafia. Let me use the word. Actually, they are actually controlling the drugs in the world and are inhibiting these Indian Ayurveda medicines to go across the countries. So now the role of the students is to see that these are propagated. So work on it. There is a lot of money is available with the funding agencies. Those who would like to work on the mechanism of its action, not that its beneficial effects, how it is getting benefited. So this is the one I would like to emphasize on this. And I think with this, the IKS lecture series will cover various aspects, including this one. And another important thing is, India is also in the forefront, even in the physics, geography, chemistry, and all these things. So you know that the zero has been discovered by India, and also geography and planets were actually discovered. We don't have any technology at that time. We could do that one. And also, the difficult surgeries were being conducted in the ancient India. I think if I am right, it's in Rigveda. It's mentioned about the Susruta. He's the one who is a surgeon actually. He initiated the brain surgeries. When somebody admitted him for the headache, that time itself he identified that there is a brain tumor and it has to be operated. So where is the CT scan, X-ray or MRI? Nothing was there. So that was the knowledge system that we were having. So because of certain reasons we lost that one. Now all the students and the libraries to get the knowledge and spread throughout the people, especially the young generation, to take up and initiate where we lost and how to start that one. So these are actually 2 points that I would like to emphasize, and I congratulate the Dr. Vijay Kumar. So actually Vijay Kumar came to me that he wanted to do that one. In fact, when I visited library, I saw that there are some books are there, Indian knowledge system here and there. I told him, why can't we start a wing with the Indian knowledge system books, so that people who would like to read in various subjects of the IKS, they can straight away go to that wing and they can do it. I wish he will continue with that. And I really congratulate the librarian and as well as the library staff for taking this initiative of the inaugurating, starting this lecture series. And I really thank the Vidya Bharthi for supporting us. And those, I think you can identify the speakers time to time, and you will enrich the knowledge with our students and faculty members. With these few words, once again, I congratulate them and I inaugurate this program forever. So thank you very much and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your constant support and encouragement given to us. I request Dr. Vijay Kumar sir to kindly present him with the book.
Namaste, Vanakkam. A very good morning, all of you. Sorry, good afternoon, because then already we crossed 12. I am very thankful to Dr. Pavitra for giving this opportunity for delivering vote of thanks. First, my sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P. Prakash Babu sir, for his encouragement, for his guidance, for his support for organizing this meaningful lecture series. Sir is actually, when we were just last 2 days only finalized, long back, I think 1st April onward we deciding to arrange this lecture series. Within 2 days on holy days, sir gave permission and all support he extended to us for organizing this event. And next and most special thanks to our guest of honor, Professor Sampath Kumar sir. He is our mentor, our guide, and first on April, sir already visited here and interacted with us. Again, within 10 days, second time he has come to bless us. So I am very thankful to you, sir, for coming and participating this great initiative for nation and society. My special thanks goes to our director, research and study, Professor Dharni Karasu sir. Sir is always means even 5-minute talk also sir will give some ideas about Indian knowledge system, and always we wish to talk him to get something about Indian knowledge system. Thank you very much sir. And once again I am very much thankful to all. Nanti Vanakkam.